Welcome everyone, Farmer Cop here. This is going to be a test video to see what effect bees actually have on the yield of crops. So we're going to do a few different tests here. There's a couple of things that we're actually going to take a look at in terms of kind of factors here that they're gonna play in when it comes to bees, and I'll explain those here in a minute. Basically what we know, if we go into the menu, if we go to the help menu and we go to bees, it says that the bees will, obviously they'll produce honey. This isn't a guide to bees by any means. If you want to watch my video on how to raise bees and take care of them and all that stuff and everything that you need to know about bees in terms of that, I'll put a card up on your screen right now. But this is to talk about the yield bonus, which is on canola, sunflower, and potato fields. Now, if it's anything like it was in Farming Simulator 22, which it should be pretty much the same, it should give you like a 4% yield bonus or somewhere around that. And it's going to be the same for canola, sunflower, and potato fields. I don't have any reason. That's one assumption I'm going to make. I don't have any reason to believe that the change is going to be different from canola to potatoes. I'm assuming that, you know, canola, sunflower, potatoes, all going to be affected the same way. The reason for that is that would be basically, instead of doing 2 big tests here, I would have to do 6 big tests. And I'm also not going to go through and I'm not going to test every single crop known to man, because again, I would have to do 2 big tests for every single one of these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You can see how it's ridiculous. So it says that it does those crops. So we will take a look and see. If you're experiencing a bit of a yield bonus when you're using bees on something else, just let me know. And that'll be good to know down in the comments. So yeah, those are kind of the assumptions we are making here. So we're going to do the test using canola, because that's going to be probably the easiest of those crops to run the test on. So that's what we're going to do. Now, the other thing that's kind of a big question, or another thing that people kind of ask or think about when it comes to bees, if I go in here, take a look at bees, is there any difference between any of these different hives? The only thing that would probably change is going to be that the bigger hives are going to have a longer range. Now, I'm not going to test the range of each individual hive, because it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different tests here. That could be a difference, but we're just going to assume that the range doesn't change based on the beehive. We're also going to assume that if I place, 4 of these down, it doesn't multiply. That would be a little bit unrealistic, and I don't think that that's what it's going to do. It didn't do it in Farm Sim 22, so I'm going to assume that multiple beehives is not going to multiply it. However, I have 20 plots of, now these are not all the same size, I understand that. I have 20 plots of farmland here that we are going to test on. That's why each one of these tests is going to take a while, because each one of these tests is basically 20 little mini tests, which is data that we're going to collect for all of these here. So the way we're going to do this, I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to save the game, and I'm going to plant over top of these, and then just fast forward time, and then I'm going to harvest each one of these different plots, and then I'm going to record how much we get. Now, it doesn't matter that they're different sizes, because we're comparing the percent increase of the yield to what they would get if they had bees. And then after we do the canola harvest for all 20 of these, then I'm going to load back into the game, and then we'll start right here, and then I'm going to place down a beehive right here before I even start planting to make sure that doesn't have anything to do with it. I'm going to place down a beehive, right here, basically right at the back end. I might move the seeder forward a little bit, but put it kind of just like right here. And then I'm going to plant everything, and then we're going to record the yield for each one of these 20 plots, and we're going to see if they get the yield percent. Now, we should be able to see by that test, we should be able to see what the percentage is, because each one of the first one right here will definitely get the yield bonus because it's right next to the hive. So that one will give us a good kind of number for what the yield bonus is going to look like. And then as we go down the line here, we'll see if it ever goes away. Like maybe like right in here somewhere, these ones are too far away from the hive, so they don't get the effect. So we're also kind of testing the range, which this is a pretty big range here. I mean, we're on Huton Pantai. These are our plots across here. That's a pretty big range. If the bees had a wider radius than there to there, I would be shocked, because that's a circle of about this size right here. Because that means that you could put basically a beehive right here and it would get all of these fields, which would be a little bit ridiculous. So I'm assuming it's going to go out a few plots and maybe stop, but we'll kind of have to see. I am not an XML master or anything like that. We're just going to run this way, and I don't have any way to check it in the XML to see if I'm right or wrong. There is a beehive over here, which we are actually going to sell that off, get that out of there. We don't want that to have anything to do with our test. There shouldn't be any other bees on the map anywhere here on Huton Pantai. So this is what we got. That's what we're going to run. I'm going to record all of that data, and then I'm going to bring you guys back in after we have all that data recorded. So I'll see you guys here in just a couple minutes. Well, it'll be a minute for you, and there are basically no time for you and a lot of time for me. So I'll see you guys here in a second. All right, the test has been concluded, and actually the results are super interesting. And before I get into that, I also roughly estimated the distance between each plot and the beehive. I measured from about here to here, to the top of the plot. That's how you know. So this would be measurement 1 from there to there. And if you didn't know how I did that or how I approximated that, this is in line with the map, so it's in line with the coordinates in terms of that. So this is, I know it's diagonal, but it's straight across the map if you look at it this way, because it's a diagonal field. So it's in line with the coordinates. So if you look down the bottom left-hand side of my map, it says 514. If I go left and right, the other coordinate is going to go away, or change, not go away. But 514, as I go up, that increases. So each one of those is a meter. Each time that goes up is a meter. So I get to about here, record the distance. This is about 14 meters from the other one. And I did that all the way out to, well, I didn't do it all the way out, and I'll explain why I didn't, but I did that quite a few of them out just to kind of show the difference. But yeah, let's take a look at the results. I, of course, made a spreadsheet to show off the results. So here we go. This is our bees yield test. So plot 1 through 20. Then we have the yield of the canola, which is our kind of our control, and then we have the yield with the bees. So as you can see, after about right here is where we didn't get any yield increase. It was the same. So out about that far, that plot right there is 146 meters away. So it seemed like it went out to about 130 meters is where this plot kind of ended. And that was the last time we kind of got a yield increase, 132 meters out, or about that. But what's really interesting to me is it seems like there's kind of 3 tiers. See, here we're getting about 3 to 4%. Here we're getting about 2 to 3%. And then here we're getting about 1 to 2%. So it almost seems like if you look at the distance, from about 0 meters to 50 meters of the beehive, you get about 3 to 4%. And I mean, this could change very rapidly. If this would just happen to be up a little bit more, you can see it changes. It can change quite rapidly. So adjusting these by 1, technically, there could have very well been 115.5. That's the only disadvantage of doing such a small amount. But these ones right here, even if they're 1 off, that's nothing there. And if it's 125, that's still not quite all the way up there. I mean, that's getting a little bit closer, but it seems like there might be tiers to it. So maybe the closer the better, and as you get further away, the yield increases a little bit less, which is kind of cool, because I don't believe that's how it worked in Farming Simulator 22. But this is here to give you some kind of information. I will link this document down below in the description for you, and you guys can enter your own data if you want to do some more testing or whatever the case may be. But it seems like probably I'd say out to about 100 meters you're good, 50 meters to be safe, maybe 75. But yeah. So you'll be pretty good for a while off of a beehive, so just beware of that. But yeah, that's my test for you guys. Hopefully that was helpful for you. I enjoyed doing that test. I think that was a good one for us to do there. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed, please drop a like down below. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button up on the screen to join the Farmer Cop channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos I may post. This has been Farmer Cop. Thank you guys for coming and watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.